And welcome to today's episode of the Change for African campaign. Very late, but indeed we have to deliver this as we bowed to say that we have no alternative but to proceed with our daily episode of the Change for African campaign. So, therefore, fellow Africans, and being on Friday, it's all about our fifth pillar of the Change for African campaign, which is all about the climate change that we face as an African continent. Under the continuation on the UNSDG goals, the 17 of them, today I'll be tackling goal number 14, which is all about life below water. It's quite, it may raise some controversies when it comes to matters about life below water. People may be wondering what is life below water and what does it involve really. But it's all about sustainable use of our the aquatic resources, which aquatic ecosystem. I mean, oceans, seas, and lakes. Across Africa. Though it's a United Nations. It's a United Nations program in terms of since it's a global thing, but then we discuss Africa because we are in Africa and Africa is our business. And so this goal is mainly focused on ensuring that issues to do with the blue economy as one of the blue economy, like globally, should be a very key source of wealth creation, or of a part of the countries that adds to the economy of the country. And so, speaking about blue economy, it comes with a need to have some very clean water sources and unpolluted water sources such as the oceans and the marines and all these things. Because remember, as it stands by now, it is very true that most of these water sources across the globe are being polluted by plastics and some not quite good things that are being deposited in these oceans. We have plastics being deposited here. We have even fertilizers, because some farms are found in areas that are quite slanting into these oceans and into these seas. So it means that if we have farms this way and we have applied fertilizer, then we are having deposit of these. These are poison, because when you go to these waters, what they do, they now distract the life underwater. Now when you speak about life underwater, and it's an issue of climate change actually, and that is when we also have the level of our seas starting to go down. That is another thing that should be looked at up to when it comes to climate change, because all this comes with when these things are deposited into the lakes, then it means that the aquatic life in these oceans and in these marines and in these seas will not be able to survive really, but they will die because they will be using the poisonous materials deposited here. And also, if they may not die, the contrary is that these are resources that are actually harvested and ate, maybe consumed by human beings. So human beings end up consuming things that are actually intoxicated before, meaning that it's also not good for the health of the human being. So these are things that we need to be very clear about in terms of life below water. Let us make sure that we conserve the life below water. It is part of the climate resilience steps or actions that are being taken to make sure that these are all about climate change. They come with the issues of climate change, because when you speak about having more and more of these water sources conserved, in terms of they're not left to dry up, and even the level of these seas to go down, they are starting to go down. It's because of many very human encroachment that is happening. Maybe the human interference in these ecosystems is making the issues of these water sources to actually collapse and go down. So these are a danger threat to the human life, and especially for the African continent, whereby still there is no much in terms of the blue economy is actually not at its peak, but it's a very very critical sector that, if it is well invested in, and we have the modern equipment to be able to carry out the blue economy, whereby we have very serious things being done, the utilization of our water sources is very key, such that we get what is supposed to get from these water sources. If it's harvesting the aquatic life in terms of food and being able to sustain our people. Remember, it's all about having a resilient blue economy, or a strong blue economy that contributes to our GDP and even GDP per capita, but at the same time, when you do that, it is sustainable, such that it does not interfere with the climate with does not interfere with the environment, but it is safe, and is safe for everyone. It's safe for the same waters, which are the for the waters, life below water, and it's also same for the people who are actually consuming this, and so to speak, the people of Africa. So this is a critical goal when it comes to issues of climate change, and and issues of climate change, and issues of protecting our water sources. Because remember, some of this, when, let's say, the issues of plastics being deposited into these water sources, remember, plastics do not actually, they are they did not decompose, all of them, like they cannot decompose, meaning when they are deposited into these water sources, then it means that they remain to be the same. So being consumed by this aquatic life, it poses a threat to the human to the human life, and we need to make sure that we do, or we try as much as possible to see on how we can curb the issues of climate change, and reduce the issues of depositing bad materials into our water sources, such that they interfere with the aquatic life, and life below water becomes a threat. Thank you, and have an interesting weekend. Let's meet some other time as we discuss some other issues.